What if I told you there was a country that actually exists in all four hemispheres of the Earth? That is correct. And as you probably would figure, it's actually in the South Pacific Ocean. This is the story of Kiribati, which is actually spelled Kiribati, but it's a chain of islands that extends across a huge swath of the South Pacific Ocean, which includes island chains such as the Gilbert Islands and the Line Islands to the far east. And the island chain straddles both the 180 degree, which would actually be the international date line, but for Kiribati, they actually moved the international date line all the way around it to the east. And so the IDL actually extends as far east as the 150 degree west meridian. The equator also bisects the chain, so there it is. That is where the nation of Kiribati is in all four hemispheres. Kiribati used to be a British overseas territory. However, they gained full independence in 1979. And the capital is Tarawa, which is also the largest atoll or island in the chain. The total land area of the chain is only about 301 square miles. And yet at the same time, it extends over several thousand miles east-west and a few hundred miles north-south. And the population of the entire nation is around 125,000 at this point. The island, I don't even want to call it a city because it technically isn't, but the island of Tarawa has a population of about 70,000. It is where the international airport is for the country, and transporting any of the other islands in the nation or chain are based out of Tarawa. And so you have to fly there first to be able to get to any other island in the country. Now, the time zone of the easternmost islands is UTC plus 14, so the most advanced time zone in the world. They're still a day behind most of the Western Hemisphere, much like up at the Diomede Islands in the far north, where the international date line actually does go through. But in this case, in Kiribati, the IDL goes around to the east. And unlike most of the other nations or islands in the Pacific Ocean, there is not any other there's not a real economy to these islands. The actual economic driver of Kiribati is actually international aid. And it's actually also from a lot of international aid that is related to climate change or global warming. And so they gain a lot of international aid on the basis of that alone. Because as you probably figure with many of these low-lying coral islands, with climate change, many of them will wind up underwater. So at some juncture, you may have a nation of 120,000 people needing to be relocated somewhere else, which I'm certain would happen. I don't know where they would go, to be fair, because there isn't really any other nation nearby Kiribati. And so you have to find someplace completely out of the realm to move 125,000 people. And the primary language of the islands is actually English. A language called Gilbertese, which is mainly spoken on the Gilbert Islands on the far eastern side, is the second language of the country. The easternmost island, or eastern or leastmost, west, whatever, with the crazy way the dateline goes, is Christmas Island, which is at about 150 degrees west. At Y2K, and really every year since, that island is the first one to see the new millennium, because it is still one day behind, or one day ahead of the Western Hemisphere. But in addition to that, 12 hours, also 2 hours ahead of the rest of Kiribati. Therefore, they see the new year, every new year, they see it first. And actually in 2000 it was unofficially nicknamed Millennium Island for the occasion. So again, this is a nation that doesn't produce any tropical fruits, any tropical goods, any agriculture, and any fish. It is entirely reliant on international aid. Kind of like another island these days, a little bit further to the north and west, which is called Nauru. That could be another film for another day, but Kiribati is the country that is in all 4 hemispheres. It is the only country to have this claim because if you go around to the other side of the world and you go to where the equator and the 0-degree prime meridian cross, there is no national landmass or no nation anywhere near this area. So Kiribati it is. The one country in all 4 hemispheres, northern, southern, western, and eastern. Kind of the runt of the world. But alas, they do have their own independence and are recognized by virtue of every country in the world, if not all of them. So there's your little country of 120,000 people in an area where two major meridians cross. So that is the story of Kiribati, and I will see you next time, and peace out, homies.